Today we are going to learn about memory. Memory. Memory is a storage area of a computer. In our real life we are using different storage area. Example: bag, cupboard, box, etc. Like that we are using different kinds of storage area inside the computer. Different kinds of storage area required in a computer for fast processing. Memory is divided into three: CPU memory, primary memory and secondary memory. Now we are going to see what are the different kinds of CPU memory. These are CPU registers and internal cache memory, located inside the central processing unit. Primary memory of a computer. These memory has direct contact with the CPU, and hence it is called as primary memory or main memory. Types of primary memory are: external cache memory, random access memory, read-only memory. Next type of memory is secondary memory. This has no direct contact with the CPU, and hence it is called as secondary memory. Types of secondary memory are: optical disk, magnetic disk, and flash memory. Now, we are going to study registers. Registers are located inside the CPU. These are the temporary storage area used by the ALU to fetch and store the data while performing a process execution. These are the fastest and smallest memory inside the computer. It is very expensive compared to other memory. Points to recall registers. CPU memory. Fastest and smallest memory. Expensive compared to other memory. Fetch and store the data into the ALU. Temporary storage area. Now, we are going to study cache memory. Cache memory acts as a buffer between CPU and RAM. There are two types of cache memory: internal cache and external cache. Internal cache is inside the CPU and external cache is located on the motherboard. Points to remember cache memory. Buffer between CPU and RAM. Compared to RAM and secondary memory, it is fast but small and expensive. Temporary storage area. Now, we are going to study primary memory RAM. RAM stands for random access memory. RAM is called as read-write memory because it can perform the read and write operations while doing a ALU operation. When data is not available in registers and cache memory, CPU can fetch the data from RAM, and also it will store the data in RAM. It is a temporary storage area because it requires power to maintain its data. So, it is called as volatile memory. It has direct contact with the CPU, so it is a primary memory. Examples of RAM: DDR, DDR2, DDR3 and DDR4. This is the RAM, a hardware piece of a computer. This is the RAM slot on the motherboard. RAM is inserted in the RAM slot. Two RAM technologies are used in computers: DRAM and SRAM. DRAM stands for dynamic RAM. SRAM stands for static RAM. SRAM is expensive and fast. It is used in cache memory. DRAM is cheap and slow. It is used in RAM memory. Points to remember RAM. Primary memory. Volatile memory. It can perform read-write operation. Now, we are going to study another type of primary memory. ROM. ROM stands for read-only memory, because it can perform only reading operation. What is the use of ROM? When we switch on a computer, we require a set of programs for startup process. This startup process is called as booting. This booting process software stored in ROM. That is, without ROM we can't switch on a computer. This is a permanent storage area, so it is called as nonvolatile memory. It is a chip on the motherboard. Types of ROM. First one is MROM. Second one is PROM. Third one is EPROM. And fourth one is EEPROM. MROM stands for Mask Read-Only Memory. Mask ROM is a type of read-only memory whose contents are programmed by the integrated circuit manufacturer. PROM stands for Programmable Read-Only Memory. PROM is programmed, the information written is permanent and cannot be erased or deleted. EPROM stands for Erasable and Programmable Read-Only Memory. EPROM is modifiable read-only memory that can be erased and reprogrammed by ultraviolet lights. And EEPROM stands for Electrically Erasable and Programmable Read-Only Memory. EEPROM is user-modifiable read-only memory that can be erased and reprogrammed by electrical voltage. Points to recall: ROM, permanent storage memory. Non-volatile, storing boot-up software. Now, we are going to see secondary memory. Secondary memory is an external memory. It is used for the permanent storage of files, folders and applications. Tell me some examples of files. PPT, Word file, picture file, etc. After creating a file, we will save the file into the computer. In this process the file moves from primary memory to secondary memory, which means the file is moving from temporary storage to permanent storage. That is, in switch-off condition also the file is available in secondary memory. When we switch on the computer, we can open this file from secondary memory. It is the permanent, largest and slowest memory inside a computer. Different types of secondary memory are optical disks, magnetic disk and flash memory. Examples of optical disks are CD, DVD, etc. Examples of magnetic disks are hard disk, magnetic tape, etc. Examples of flash memory are pen drive, memory card, etc. Key points to remember. It is a permanent storage area. Non-volatile memory. Largest, slowest, and cheapest memory. Memory hierarchy. First register. Then cache memory. Then RAM. Then secondary memory. Registers are the fastest and smallest memory inside the computer. Next fastest and smallest memory is cache memory. Then random access memory. Largest and slowest memory inside the computer is secondary memory. The size increases and cost and speed decreases from top to bottom. The cost and speed increases and size decreases from bottom to top. Registers, cache memory, RAM and secondary memory are used for processing an instruction. We are not using ROM for normal processing. It is only used for booting process. Why we have to use different kinds of memory inside the computer? For fast processing of the computer. For example, when you are sitting in your classroom, teacher told you to write the class work. That time if you are searching notebook and pen from bag, you can't able to complete your work in time before teacher comes. If your books and pen are ready on the table, then you can complete your work in time. Suppose another situation. All your books, pen, pencil, etc. are on the table. That time you can complete your work in time? No, you can't. Since you have to spend time for finding the particular subject books, your normal speed will reduce. If you are keeping only the specified book on the table, then we can do the work quickly and efficiently, without any wastage of time for searching. We can see what are the storage space we are using in this example. According to the timetable, take the books from the cupboard, and keep the books in the bag. According to the subject, take the book from the bag, and keep it on the table. Storage spaces are cupboard, bag, and table. Same way. Register contains next processing data. RAM and cache memory contain programs that has to be executed. And secondary memory contains saved files. So computer can perform the process quickly and efficiently with the help of different kinds of memory. Watch the video. Read the textbook. Complete the worksheet and practical.